1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Romesh Peris and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The head of state emphasizes the importance of unity and religious harmony for the development of the country. More than 54,000 individuals in 13 districts have been affected due to inclement weather in the recent days across the country. All schools in the Mathura district closed till Tuesday. The Sri Lanka Navy deploys several teams to provide assistance to the flood-affected individuals in the Mathura district. Sri Lanka expresses deep concern about the attacks and escalation of violence in Israel and Palestine. The Minister of Industry says no new recruitments for public sector except for essential vacancies. The Digital Economy Transformation Acceleration Program set to commence tomorrow. In foreign news, Israel pummels Gaza after Hamas's unprecedented attack. In sports news, gold medalist Tarushi felicitated in China. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has emphasized the importance of unity and religious harmony for the development for the country. While delivering a powerful speech during the 150th anniversary celebrations of St. Michael's College in Batticaloa, President Wickremesinghe commended the school for its diverse student body and its role in promoting harmony among different communities. President Ranil Wickremesinghe stressed that unity among Sri Lankans was the foundation for resolving ethnic and religious issues, also the progress for the development, highlighting the need for all Sri Lankans to come together as one people, regardless of their differences, to move forward and rebuild the nation after years of division and turmoil. The President encouraged dialogue and political discussions as a means to resolve issues within the country, asserting that Sri Lankans must work together to find solutions rather than seeking external intervention. The head of state emphasized the need for maintaining high standards and addressing human rights issues within the country. More than 54,000 individuals in 13 districts have been affected due to the inclement weather in the recent days across the country. The Disaster Management Centre said 54,436 persons from 13,351 families have been affected by the heavy rains and gusty winds. The Gampaha district has been the worst hit area, with 41,022 individuals impacted, mainly by flooding. According to the latest situation report issued by the DMC, a total of 7 persons have died, while 23 individuals have sustained injuries owing to the inclement weather. Furthermore, the DMC reports that 54,440 individuals in 13 districts have been affected due to incessant rains in the recent days. 728 houses have been damaged due to bad weather. Around 199 affected families have been relocated to safe shelters. Meanwhile, the Ceylon Electricity Board has decided to disconnect the power supply from its grid substation in Mathura as a safety precaution in the event the water levels continue to rise in the area. In a post on X, the Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, said the power supply to the affected areas in Mathura would, however, be reconnected shortly after from the grid substations in Deniaya and Beliatta. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement that Sri Lanka is deeply concerned about the attacks and escalation of violence and the resulting loss of life in Israel and Palestine. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka has called for an immediate halt to violence and calls on all parties to exercise maximum restraint to prevent further civilian casualties. The statement added that Sri Lanka remains committed in line with internationally agreed parameters of 2 states living side by side on the basis of the 1967 borders. Furthermore, the Foreign Affairs Ministry mentions that the Sri Lanka missions in Tel Aviv and Ramallah are monitoring the situation closely and are in contact with Sri Lankans living in the affected areas, adding that so far 1 Sri Lankan has sustained minor injuries during the violence. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
The Minister of Industries, Ramesh Patirana, says that no new recruitments will be made for any employment in the public sector in the future except for the most essential areas of the public service. Minister Patirana claimed that the public service has become an unbearable issue for the government at present. He also mentions that Sri Lanka has one of the highest public employee to population ratios in the world. The Ministry of Technology in Sri Lanka has announced the commencement of the DigiCon 2030 program, a significant initiative aimed at accelerating the digital economic transformation of the country. This program, inspired by the vision of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, is set to begin on the 11th of October and represents the first collaborative effort between the government and the private sector to execute a digital economy plan in Sri Lanka. The State Minister of Technology, Mr. Kanaka Herath, highlighted the potential of digital economy's policies to bolster Sri Lanka's economy significantly. He also mentioned that workshops and conferences will be organized about this digital economy plan.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The Sri Lanka Navy has deployed several teams to provide assistance to the flood-affected individuals in the Matara district. Due to inclement weather prevailing in the country, the Navy mobilized its flood relief teams in Matara, Akurasa, Tihagoda and Kamburupitiya in the southern province earlier this week. These teams are currently engaged in providing assistance to the flood-affected individuals. The Navy said due to the flood situation in the Kamburupitiya, Akurasa, Tihagoda and Athuraliya areas of the Matara district caused by the overflowing of the Nilbala River, Navy personnel are using dinghies to offer crucial transport to people struggling to meet their everyday needs.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the director of the Matara Education Zone has decided to extend the closure of schools till Tuesday, the 10th of October, while considering the adverse weather conditions in the Matara district. Accordingly, all schools in the Matara district will be closed on Monday and Tuesday. The decision was taken at the meeting of the District Disaster Management Committee held at the Matara District Secretariat under the chairmanship of Power and Energy Minister Kanchuri Wijesekara and the Southern Province Governor Willie Gamage. That was Watchlight. In world news headlines. Israel pummels Gaza after Hamas's unprecedented attack. Powerful earthquake kills more than 100 people in western Afghanistan. Jeff Bezos joins satellite internet race. Israel has launched multiple air raids on the besieged Gaza Strip after the Palestinian armed group Hamas launched an unprecedented land and air military operation against Israel. Health officials in the Gaza Strip say at least 230 Palestinians have been killed in the Israeli air attacks, with more than 1,600 wounded. On the Israeli side, authorities say the death toll had risen to at least 100 people, with hundreds of others wounded. Analysts say the nature of the Hamas attacks on Israel are without precedent and in recent years and could transform the landscape of the entrenched conflict. A powerful earthquake followed by strong aftershocks has killed more than 100 people in western Afghanistan, local officials said, as the United Nations warned that the death toll could rise as search and rescue efforts continue. The 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck 40 kilometers west of the city of Herat at about 11 a.m. on Saturday, with strong aftershocks felt in the neighboring Baghdad and Farah provinces. The Afghan Ministry of Defense in a post on X said the tremors killed more than 100 people and injured more than 500. Jeff Bezos, the founder of the online retail giant Amazon, is expanding his interests in space. On Friday, he launched 2 prototype satellites for a broadband mega constellation he calls Project Kuiper. Mr. Bezos is planning to put up more than 3,200 spacecraft in the next few years to deliver internet connections to anywhere on the globe. He hopes to challenge Elon Musk's Starlink, which already offers satellite internet in many countries. The 2 small satellites launching on Friday, Kuipersat 1 and Kuipersat 2, will trial the necessary technology. They were carried into a 500-kilometer high orbit by an Atlas V rocket. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Israel pummels Gaza after Hamas's unprecedented attack. Powerful earthquake kills more than 100 people in western Afghanistan. Jeff Bezos joins satellite internet race.
Development News.
Sri Lanka's tourism revenues grew more than tripled to $152.2 million in September 2023 from a year earlier, as the arrivals have gradually picked up, official data show. The tourism revenue numbers are based on a survey conducted by the Tourism Promotion Office and released by the Central Bank. Estimated tourism revenues for September was $152.2 million, up from $40.5 million in the same month a year earlier. The revenue for the first 8 months was $1,456.7 million, 66.8% up from $873.1 million in the same period in 2022. September November arrivals also more than tripled to 111,938 compared to last year's 29,802, while total foreign visitors to the island nation crossed 1 million for this year in September. The island nation has witnessed 1.02 million. That's 1,016,256 in the first 9 months of this year, 93.1% up from 526,232 recorded in the same period last year, official data shows. That was development news, and now in sports news, a ceremony was held on Friday in Hangzhou, China, to felicitate gold medalist Tharushi Karunaratne and the Sri Lanka team. This is organised under the China-Sri Lanka Youth Cultural and Sports Exchange Programme, where Tharushi and other athletes joined a group of school children in Hangzhou for several activities. Meanwhile, China, which is at the forefront of the medal table, had won 187 gold medals, while Japan had won 47 gold medals and South Korea had won 36 gold medals. India finished fourth with 22 gold medals, while Sri Lanka finished in the 25th position with 5 medals, including 1 gold. In other sports news, Rugby World Cup. A sluggish England outlasted a bruising brilliant Samoa performance to head to the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals with a full house of Pool D wins. Danny Care's 73rd minute dart from the base of a scrum was a decisive score in an 18-17 victory. Furthermore, Wales completed a clean sweep of World Cup pool matches with a bonus point victory over Georgia. Louis Rees-Zammit scored a hat-trick as Warren Gatlin's side topped Pool C to set up a likely quarter-final meeting with Argentina or Japan.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Brazil, which is concurrently accredited to the Republic of Chile in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Tea Board, organised Sri Lanka Pavilion with the participation of the 12 Sri Lanka tea exporting companies at the Espacio Food Service Expo, which is one of the largest beverage exhibitions held in South America from the 26th to 28th of September 2023 in Santiago, Chile. The ambassador of Sri Lanka to Brazil, Sumit Dasanayake, addressing the press conference and the reception, highlighted Sri Lanka's commitment to develop the country as a maritime and investment hub and also to modernise its economy with a view to have a highly competitive green and digital economy. Referring to Sri Lanka's lucrative tourism industry, the ambassador informed that Sri Lanka is a famous destination amongst international tourists, as the island is the best place to visit by tourists with diverse interests.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, the Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated by 12.2% against the US dollar in 2023. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the rupee has performed well against other currencies as well as during the year up to the 6th of October. The central bank said, reflecting the cross-currency movements, the Sri Lanka rupee also appreciated against the euro, the sterling pound, the Japanese yen, the Indian rupee and the Australian dollar during the first 8 months of this year. Accordingly, the rupee has appreciated by 25.7% against the yen, 10.9% against the sterling pound, 13.4% against the euro and 12.8% against the Indian rupee so far this year.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the atmospheric conditions are favourable for afternoon thunderstorms in the eastern, over, northern and north-central provinces. The Met Department added that showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the eastern, over, central, northern and north-central provinces and in the Kurunegala district during the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimetres can be expected some places. Several spells of showers are also likely in the western, Sabaragamu and southern provinces and in the Puttalama district. Meanwhile, the general public has been requested to take adequate precautions to minimise damage caused by temporary localised strong winds and lightning during the thunder showers. That was with the report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The head of state emphasises the importance of unity and religious harmony for the development of the country. More than 54,000 individuals in 13 districts have been affected due to inclement weather in the recent days across the country. Schools in the Mathura district closed till Tuesday. The Sri Lanka Navy deploys several teams to provide assistance to the flood-affected individuals in the Mathura district. Sri Lanka expresses deep concern about the attacks and escalation of violence in Israel and Palestine. The Minister of Industry says no new recruitments for the public sector except for essential vacancies. The Digital Economy Transformation Acceleration Program set to commence tomorrow. In foreign news, Israel pummels Gaza after Hamas's unprecedented attack. In sports news, gold medalist Tarushi felicitated in China. That concludes this news broadcast, and now it's back to your host. Yes, Sonal Panavitano on the other side. In yellow, bright yellow, this Sunday afternoon, bringing in the sunshine, I guess, Sonal.